Trigonometry 2, the cosine rule. The cosine rule is applied to solve oblique triangles that are not right angled, meaning there is no 90 degrees. The following are the conditions required to apply the sine rule. When the values of two sides are given together with the value of an angle between the two sides, if you have an angle between two sides and you need to solve for the value of the side opposite to that sandwiched angle, then you know you have to use the cosine rule. So a key word for the cosine rule is between. When the values of all three sides are given and you need to solve for the value of the side opposite to any of the angles, then you can use the cosine rule. This one is not very popular, but this one is. And here's the cosine rule. And we're going to take a look at a triangle to see why the word between is so important for the cosine rule. So here's a section of the list of formulas that CX is going to provide. And here is a triangle labeled, an oblique triangle that is labeled. And as you can see, each side is labeled with the lowercase, and the angle opposite to that side is the uppercase. Little b, opposite angle capital B. Little c, capital C, little a, capital A. Now, if you look at the cosine rule now, the cosine rule starts with little a. That's a side. So to find a squared, you've got to have a b squared plus a c squared. That's the two other sides minus 2bc cosine the angle A. That angle A now is opposite to the side A. So you start with a side and you end up with an angle that is opposite to that side. If we had started with b squared, little b squared, we would end up with capital B. So the cosine rule has the word opposite in it, but so too the sine rule. But what differentiates between the two? This angle is between the two sides B and C. As you can see, angle A is between B and C. So in your observation, if you mention the word between, then you know you have to use the cosine rule instead of the sine rule. The sine rule has opposite and opposite. As you can see, side A opposite angle A, side B opposite angle B. So sine rule has two opposites in it. But as you can look at it, the cosine rule has an opposite, side A, capital A. However, it has the word between. Angle A is between B and C. Let's look at an example. So here we have an example, and we have to solve for side C. Okay. So clearly, we can see that this triangle is oblique. Okay. There is no 90 degrees. So right away, Pythagoras sine, cosine, tangent ratios are out of it. So I left with sine rule and the cosine rule. Okay, the triangle is oblique. So let's make another observation. As we can see, the angle 67 degrees that we will provide you with is between 4 and 7. So the mere fact that we mentioned the word between, this is an indication that we have to use the cosine rule. There's the word opposite, you know. Side C is opposite to 67 degrees. Okay, but between is the key word here that we have to use the sine rule, the cosine rule, sorry, and then we substitute. Okay, we are solving for c squared, a little c squared, so we have to end up with 47 degrees in the cosine area. And we have 4 squared plus 7 squared. That's the two sides, 4 and 7, minus 2 times 4 times 7 times cosine of 67. 2 is part of the formula, as we know already. Here it is. Okay, so we simply substitute this, and it is possible to type this straight in your calculator to get 43.119 and the square root c, because 43.119 is a c squared. So to get c, we square root 43.119 and we get 6.57. When you square root in a negative number, you can get the plus or minus. The square root of 4 is plus or minus 2. But because we are dealing with length, then we'll just stick with the positive side of the square root, which is 6.57. So you can prove to see if that's what you have gotten. So the key word here is between, indication that we have to use the cosine rule.